Hey, good morning. My name is Thomas, and I'm a designer and a developer. If you're looking for your web projects or your application to be designed, developed, scoped, tested, audited, etc., then look no further. I'm here in Houston, Texas. I have heaps of experience. I have an excellent team, small team, but excellent team. We can get the job done quickly and to a very high degree of quality. And actually, ChatGPT, which is an AI tool, said that I should show a montage of work. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll get into some project work. But I look very forward to hearing from you. Look forward to seeing your message there on Upwork and helping you and your project and your team become a huge success. Let's get to it. Okay, so after that cool little montage, let's go ahead and take a look at some actual projects and the way that I work, right? So I utilize Figma. Figma is the industry leading design tool for UI UX, and it's a fantastic way to ensure that the final product is known from as early a stage, the beginning of the project as possible, right? So the way it works is typically I'll receive your requirements, we'll have a discussion. There might be an onboarding form in which we say, okay, there's going to be, this many pages, and on those pages there will be these functionalities. It's going to take about this long, etc. Right? Then I'll come in here to Figma and I'll begin doing a. Typically, I'll start with a user flow diagram or a sitemap. This basically just gets all the requirements onto, a page where we can take a look at it and you can take a look at it. These are shareable links, so you can share them with anyone on your team that you need to. And what you will see, ooh, it's chilly today. Chilly in Texas. For a sitemap, for example, you'll see this, right? So makes very clear to even the layperson, because not everyone on your team might be, let's just say, technically savvy. It's going to show all of the connections to the different pages of the website, right? It's going to show what functions are on those pages, what sections, right? So having this data begins to ensure that from the very beginning of the project, you're going to get exactly what you're expecting, right? Okay, and then once we have a basic sitemap, because this is going to evolve a bit as we move down the pipe, and as we get more things to kind of play with, more clay to mold, we're going to be wanting to make some changes, right? But we need to really kind of lock down the main requirements from the beginning. So a user flow diagram typically comes a little bit later in the project, but I'll show you that as well. This is part of my deliverables, part of the design process. Um, so, for example, we'll start with a typical user experience. Now, there are going to be different user experiences depending on what the user is there for. If the user is there to find information about your company, if he's there to buy a product, if he's there to purchase an NFT, yada, yada, yada. Depends, right? But basically, I like to use this kind of user flow diagram. The user is going to come learn about the project. He clicks. When there's a click, I usually highlight that with a different color. Then he goes to that page. He or she goes to that page, browses, yada yada. So I think you get it. Let me see if I can just fit the screen here. Okay. So user flow diagrams are very helpful. They're helpful for development teams to understand kind of the scope and the scale of the project. Also, sitemaps are fantastic for the same reasons. Okay, for the client team and for the development team to understand all the components of the project so nothing gets missed. Ooh, it's getting chilly out here. Okay, now when it's time to move into development or design development, right? I'll typically use I'll create a desktop and a mobile version. Whenever it gets built, you're going to want to have different breakpoints, which means it's going to need to be responsive for not just desktop and mobile, but also iPads or tablet devices. your phone turned, sideways, landscape or portrait, etc. But if we can create desktop and mobile versions, that's typically all that the developers are going to need. And of course, I plan to be the developer for every project, but for various reasons, sometimes the client team needs to pause on development for various reasons, right? And if that occurs, I might need to jump into other projects, which might mean that the client team will need to hand this off to another development team. That's fine, whatever. If you want to do that, then you have this asset here, and you basically ensure that you're handing off a proper blueprint to your developers. Sorry if I'm shivering, but it is like literally freezing out here. All right, so a desktop design is going to look, feel, function, and exactly as the website should, and it's going to operate just as the website should. Okay, everything should give you a very good feel and understanding. Now I can show you this project because this also happens to be a project that I'm involved in. Air Force veteran myself. But as you can see, this functions exactly like your website's going to function. The reason that we do these Figma designs is because it's a fantastic way to get comments. See all these comments? So the client team, your whole client team, is going to have access to this, and they're going to be adding comments all over it. That allows the design team to rapidly respond. And it's much faster to get the changes done in a Figma design than it is to do it whenever development and coding is underway. It's also more expensive typically. Developers will cost more than a design team typically, right? I think another thing that I would show is that these can actually link to outside sites as well. So again, this again is like something that I worked up for the client. Like if you have a project that involves blockchain and NFTs, then I'm completely capable of doing that. I have very good understanding, and I'll show you a project now that is one of the latest blockchain projects we launched. Very technical, very complex project. This involves Web3 wallet connections. It involves exchanges and launch pads and token smart contracts. There were over 20 smart contracts involved in this project. This is about as technical as it gets. We actually developed a new protocol and new policies for, not policies, but protocols for the way that this platform operates that are very cutting edge and were, I think even still today, they're quite advanced. Maybe very few other projects do it. Anyways, I'm bragging at this point. If you need like custom animations, as you can see here, I can do that in Blender. That's no issue. If you need something much more basic, I can do that as well, and I'll show you what I mean. Probably shouldn't see my Slack here. That's okay. Let's see, what's another one? Here's one I can show you. This project, we actually just launched the prototype, and you can go to create4you.com, and we can take a look at that. This one is currently under development, but let me show you that this is more of like a wireframe, right? Because this project needed to be launched so fast, really the only thing that we were able to do, which was fine, I'm on this team, right? So it was fine because I'm on this particular team. Like I'm part of this project and company. But this is more like borders a little bit more on a wireframe, right? So we're just kind of seeing the components here. I did add some information here, but you'll see like gray boxes. So this is how we can, this is also like the design process, right? Before we start applying all the graphics, etc., we want to, so actually this one's a little bit more developed, but I think you get the point. Here we go. Here's a better example. We just want to have the components all laid out here on the page. And because I do development as well, I'm very aware of how difficult it's going to be to get certain configurations and components and features, etc., actually built. It doesn't do much good to create a wireframe or a design for a website that's going to be so difficult for the developer to actually build that you end up having to change the design, right? So, anyways, that's my process. I'll show you one more. That again, I am a part owner of this company, so a lot of these projects, folks tend to like working with me, and they end up asking me if I'll partner with their projects in one way or another, like branding, etc. Um, but this one we're actually doing an update, but the current website is here. So something quite basic. This is a local guy, so I ended up shooting and editing. I'm also very proud of this project. Anyways, you can check it out if you want to. I'mYourPlumber.io. Because this guy is local, I actually shot and edited this video for him myself as well. So, kind of the whole package, right? Marketing, branding, SEO, paid advertisements, web design, web build, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Ooh, I am very cold, so please, reach out to me if you want a project done. If you want a website done, if you want just the design done, if you want scoping for a project, if you want consulting, if you want whatever, reach out to me. Um, I love what I do. I'm happy to help you succeed in what you're trying to do. So let's do it.